good. Okay. Oh
Oh.
no, it's recording. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, like I said, we can edit it too, so you'll be okay. So, all right, Tasha, thanks again for hopping on the call with me. I greatly appreciate it. First question for you is, can you take me back to the moment that led you on your digital marketing journey and your journey with the DG Mastermind?
Woo! Oh, my digital marketing journey, Lord Jesus. Let's just say somebody caught me at the right place at the right time. I was literally just getting over my Facebook account being hacked, so I lost all of my contacts and everything. Um, just got out of a bad business deal where I was taking full responsibility, something that it was totally my fault. And come to find out, it really wasn't. It was me and a few other people that was going through the exact same thing that I thought I was all alone in.
Mhm.
So I kind of had like a bitter taste in my mouth about even starting a business again after that experience. But in that moment, in that time, when this young lady presented the opportunity to me, I was skeptical, but I was still open. I wasn't so burnt that I wasn't willing to look at opportunity. And yes, and I only had one question. Even after everything I went through, I only had one question. That was, if I'm getting 100% profit, how is the company making money?
Mhm.
Because I'm all about win-win scenarios. And so when she explained that, well, the company makes the money off the one-time website fee, I was like, you know what? Finally, somebody that cares about the consumer, not just all about making money, making money, making money. So that's how I got in the digital marketing space.
Okay,
And
very good.
yes,
So it was more like by a happy accident than anything.
yeah, than
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. I
Yes.
like it. I like it. So, aside from kind of maybe wanting to, build a business or wanting, an extra income stream, was there anything else that you were kind of craving at that point? Things like freedom or impact, stability,
Oh,
purpose?
wow. Okay, so as a stay-at-home homeschooling mom,
Mhm.
um, there's a lot of things that I wanted. I wanted extra money in my pocket. I wanted my husband home more because even though I'm so grateful to be a stay-at-home mom, I sacrificed my federal job, my federal income to
Uh-huh.
be a stay-at-home mom and not understanding the other sacrifice that was being made, and that was him being absent had me being present more often. And I saw how it was affecting his body, his spirit, his wallet by being gone all the time, and how it was affecting me having my husband home, my kids having their dad. And I'm like, okay, got to be a way that I can make some extra money, alleviate some of this financial pressure off of him. So it was like all of those things, right? So it wasn't like one really outweighed the other. It was for me, it was like that lifeline, that it's like that thing that you're looking for when you want everything to kind of connect, right?
Mhm.
And not feeling guilty for wanting more. And I found myself in a space where I felt like because I was a stay-at-home mom and a lot of my friends and people that I knew were working moms, that they really couldn't understand the pain that I literally was in, feeling like a married single mom,
Mhm.
wanting my spouse there and knowing financially he couldn't be there as much as he wanted to be there. So it was like a lot of these things going on. But me knowing that me doing this one thing, having extra income coming in, would alleviate a lot of other problems with just that one thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I think and I think it's you're probably in the same boat as a lot of other, parents who feel like that, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because it's a pretty noble thing to, be a stay-at-home mom, right? And I think well, most people actually, strive for that. But yeah, I'm sure you at times would feel the guilt of like, oh, am I like, even though I'm like taking care of my kids and, watching over them, it's like, am I doing enough? Like, I'm sure you start to think in ways of like, well, how can I help out, right? And then you start to feel like some
Yeah.
type of guilt and things like that. And I think that just, and it's not a bad thing. I just think it's probably a pretty normal thing for, the parents that do stay at home with their kids. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So who would you say that you are building this for really?
Oh, you know what? Interesting question, Alex. So initially I was building this business for him, right? To
Mhm.
alleviate financial stress for him. But then as time went on, I realized that we are responsible for our own life, right? As far as how we want our lives to go. And it's not really my responsibility to alleviate the financial pressure off of him. And
Mm.
I'm saying that to say, and the reason that I woke up to that was because him watching me build this business, he decided for himself that he was going to be one of my customers and he was going to do this business for himself to get himself out of his job.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Right. And so when that happened, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, so now I have to pivot the reason that I'm doing this, right? One of
Yeah.
the other, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I can't be everything for everyone. I have to find a way and space to be there for me in order for me to show up more for my kids. Because if I'm showing my kids that everybody else is more important than themselves, then they will forever put everybody else before them. And it was a hard thing for me to go through because I've always been like a people pleaser, wanting to make
Mhm.
everybody happy, to do everything for everybody else, and found my inner energy, falling at the wayside, right? And then I remember Oprah saying, like, you cannot fill from an empty cup. Like, you must have your
Yeah.
cup filled and you can then help others. And so, with that, I had to change my mindset. I was like, okay, I have to look at this differently. And I have to build something that I'm proud of, something that I can do that not only is going to benefit my family, but benefit others as well. So it was like a full circle moment for me in that space.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's true what you say, right? About taking care for yourself. And I tell people this all the time, right? Because it's like
Mhm.
you have to be able to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others, right?
Yeah,
And it's right, and it's said with like the best way possible, and it's one of those things where it's like you have to be for some time, right? Incredibly selfish, right? That doesn't
right,
mean you're stopping caring about other people and
right,
them or your family or things like that. It's just like you have to be incredibly selfish with like what you want, your goals, right? Or else it'll never happen. So,
right.
and I think at times, yeah, that can make us feel a little guilty, or it's just like, oh
Hmm.
man, well, I'm putting myself first, and it's like, well, at times we kind of have to.
Right.
So what would you say is different about you now compared to when you had first joined the DG Mastermind?
Oh, wow. You know what? Before Mastermind, I would say well, I'm a Libra at heart, and I'm also, I love freedom. So could be very indecisive,
Uh-huh.
all over the place kind of thing. So that was, prior to joining the mastermind. And then after getting the mastermind, it's like giving me more clarity of where I am, what I want, and how I choose to show up. And the other thing is that I realized within mastermind is that we all have blind spots
Mhm.
that we are unaware of. And it's like, unless somebody bring it to your attention, it's like you really don't know. And it was in this space, it was in it was in this space that I recognized that there are people in the world, Michelle S, Michelle O, Mike,
Mhm.
people in the world that truly see me and see my heart and see me in a way that they want to help me get to that next level versus someone seeing me, seeing my heart and seeing the light that I have within and want to diminish that light.
Mhm.
Like when I got into the space of Michelle and Mike, it was like they wanted my light to shine even brighter. And that was new for me because I was so used to being this person that I am, bright, bubbly, and so giving. And then people was like, wait a minute, oh, she's too much, or let's try to dim her light some, or, don't speak too much, like don't talk right now. It's like that kind of thing. Whereas it was open, like, be you, Tasha, we love you, we love
Yeah.
who you are. And that's especially for people like me, that's something that's needed, right? Because a lot of times we don't ask for help,
Mhm.
right? Because we're that strong backbone for everybody else. And for someone to come in and it's like, you know what? I see you. I'm here for
Yeah.
you. And I'm here
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
yeah.
And like I said, I've known Mike and Michelle for, almost 15 years now. Uh, and it's been that way since I knew him, right? So it's just one of those things where, you couldn't ask for two better people to be at like the forefront of something like this. Just because of the experience. I mean, the highs and lows that they've been through with everything, right? And in the end, it's like everything that they do is like for you guys, right? Or with you guys in
Mhm.
mind, right? Everything is just to help you grow. So, you guys are in a really good position with that and, being able to learn from them because they really do just care about you guys and want you guys to succeed, which is always, amazing to see as well.
Yes.
Um, So, what would you say that you're most proud of accomplishing so far?
Oh, I'm most proud of accomplishing so far because I have so much more to accomplish. Okay, let's see. So far. Um, Oh, so far, I'm very proud that I was able to launch my community, my own community, that Michelle showed us how to even do that. And to know that not only can I help a small amount of people, I can really impact people's lives on a global level. And especially us stay-at-home moms. It's so crazy that as many of us out there in the world, there's really not a lot of space for us stay-at-home moms where we're seen, where we're understood, and to know that I can have a platform that I created my own community where I can show other stay-at-home moms, like, look, you can reclaim your light. Like there is a light inside of you. Just because you are a mom does not mean you are just a mom. And it's crazy, like how many years have we been on this earth?
Yeah.
And like being a stay-at-home mom is almost like frowned upon. It's not given as much credit as it should be given. We're the, I was gonna say the lowest paid, but we're not even paid. But we're doing the most work, and we, you know what I mean? We're nurturing these human beings and making sure that our kids are better kids for the future. And it's like, no, I see you, I am you, I hear you, we are you, and we are in this together, and we can help build each other up and not have to sacrifice our happiness, our purpose, our income, just because we choose to focus on our children and have our children have a better life. And somewhere along that road, we have forgotten ourselves and how brightly lit our light really is. So,
Yeah.
really
No,
major.
great. That's a great answer. And you're absolutely right. Truthfully, you kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. But no, and it is true, like you said, right? I think it's really good to be in that position that you are as well, and just to show other stay-at-home moms, what is possible, because it is like you said. Um, I think there is a stigma around it, right? Which there
Mhm.
shouldn't be in the first place, just
Right.
because I think it's one of the most, like I said, one of the most noble things you could do, right? And so it's just like showing them as well, like, hey, there is something that is possible, that you can stay at home, still do what you need to do, but on the side, build this thing up. So that's
Yeah.
really awesome as well. So, we talk a lot about mindset and how important it is, not only in business, but also in just like everyday life.
Yeah.
Was there a type of mindset that kind of helped you throughout this journey?
Oh. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because right now, really personally, I was going through something with my husband, and he tells me all the time, like, you are such a strong woman. And I get it. I am. I'm very patient. I'm very understanding, and I'm very optimistic. And it's interesting because I had to through life challenges, make myself optimistic. Because I used to be very pessimistic. I saw the glass is always half empty until one day somebody talked about the glass is half full. I'm like, okay, I want to be able to look at that glass and not only say it's half full, but understand why it's half full, right? And so, and so, and doing this and challenge that we're going through right now. And I was telling him about what I was experiencing with him. And
Mm,
he's like, you know what? People need to hear what you're going through. And he was like, because it's in these moments where life shows up, where life happens,
mm,
and you can be yourself and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, this is what I'm going through, but this is how I'm going to come through it, right? Because sometimes we get stuck in where we're at, we don't see the other side, and we don't see our strength. And it's
right.
so amazing that sometimes the people that bring you the pain are the ones that help you see your power.
Yes,
Sorry, that's why
exactly.
I laugh. It's like, wow, that's like,
Yeah, no, it's just
oh,
it just comes down to showing people that you're real, right? You're a human being
yeah,
just like them. You feel the same way, right? It's that's just all it is. And that's really like all that's what all this is about. It's like showing others like that you care, that you're real, like trying to give them another way.
right,
But it gets a little, I think we kind of tend to overcomplicate that aspect of it, and we can't get out of our own way when it comes to, things like that. So let's fast forward a little bit, right? Let's say you are making the type of money that you want to make, right? You're seeing success in your business, your community's growing. What does your dream life look like a year from now?
Ooh, a year from now, let's fast forward. Wow. Well, my business looks like a year from now. Oh, sorry, things popping up on my screen. Someone
Oh,
do not
you're
disturb
fine.
my business. Sorry. Wow, a year from now, I really see me like, okay, really getting into the momentum because it's usually like that first couple of years is really trying to find my footing and all of that.
Mhm.
But a year from now, I see the momentum like really picking up steam. Like my community is getting larger, the word is getting out. Um, and not only is my business growing, but women inside my community, they're developing their own businesses and that's growing. And I can really now see the fruits of my labor, seeing how me even starting this community, how it's bringing peace around the world to these stay-at-home moms that felt so isolated, felt so unheard, and feeling so overwhelmed to now be able to breathe again and to know all because I had the courage to stand up and say, we deserve more, and it's okay to ask for more, and it's okay to demand more without, like not being a stay-at-home mom or not being present for my kids. Like I can still be present for them and be present for me as well. And it's okay. I don't have to justify, I don't have to make excuses for why I want to get my nails and why I want to get my hair done. It's like it's still loud out there, but it's not as loud as it was before because now our voices are becoming louder in a positive way where people now see us
Mhm.
in a different way.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. And it's important to have, those big goals. So, and I'm excited to see, when you actually hit them. That's the best part, right? Is like talking about them.
Yes.
And then, the
Yes.
time comes and it's just like, oh man, I remember when, this was kind of all like just a dream or, kind of not in, in the grasp or realm of, even happening. And then it does. And you're just like, whoa. So that's always the best feeling too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what do you think it mean to not only yourself, but your family, your future, your legacy when you actually, hit those goals and pull this off?
Oh man. Oh, especially for my kids, because my kids, they get to see firsthand the ups and the downs, the all of that. And for them to see that mommy persevered. Like no matter what's going on, mommy persevered. Not only did I persevere, is that I was still true to myself.
Hmm.
And that took a while for me to get here, to get to a place where I'm not worried about what someone else is thinking of me, that I am still staying true to my purpose and myself and still rising above and still learning and growing because listen, I know for a fact I will never get to a point where I know everything. And that's not what it's about. It's about growing and growing every single day. And as long as I have breath in my body, I know there's room for me to learn and to grow. And to see that my kids are now learning and growing in their process and being true to themselves, it's like, okay, mommy, you're doing it. Because that's what I want them to see. You can persevere through anything as long as you keep moving forward and never quit. Your life can be the way that you really want it to be, despite the downfalls that may happen along the way.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. And that's one of the things that I really love about this too is like your family and friends, they like get to see that growth within you, right? So they get to see you building it
Yeah.
out from absolutely ground zero until what it becomes, right? So it's like they're along for that whole journey as well. So it's like they get to see the roller coaster of emotions, the wins, the losses, right?
Yes.
But in turn, it like hardens them too, right? It like makes them a little better, right? A little more understanding of like, the way that business works and the world actually works. So if anything, it kind of helps a little bit in that sense too. Um, so what do you
Helps a
think?
lot, more than a
Yeah,
little bit. Helps a lot.
yeah, yeah. So what do you think is the biggest thing, or even could be a couple things that you've learned about yourself through this entire journey?
Oh, let me see. That I've learned about myself in this entire journey. Wow. You know that I'm really as strong as people say I am. Because I realize I really don't give myself enough credit. So I'm definitely as strong as people say that I am. And the impact that I have on people's lives, it stays with them long after our conversation.
Mhm.
And that was that was a lot to receive, right? Because it's like I guess I'll be so in the mindset of okay, moving that I didn't take the time to just really accept how I was able to impact someone's life. And I realized that even though I have to speed up, sometimes I have to slow down to speed up and really be able to appreciate that moment instead of just going to the next moment, like really standing in that space of that moment. And that's something that I had to learn to do because I was always just quick, ready to just go to the next thing, the next thing, next
Mhm.
thing, instead of staying in the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, that's just kind of the way that life goes, and we kind of accept it, right? We don't, what's the saying? Like,
Yeah.
we don't take time to like smell the roses, right? Like,
Yes. Yes.
so it's like, because we're caught in such like a system of like things we need to get done, whether it be with,
Mhm.
family and things like that. So it's like, yeah, like stopping, slowing down, taking a step back, and kind of just being appreciative and like taking it
Yeah.
all in, being thankful. So yeah, I think a lot of us tend to do. I know I still do it. But yeah, no, that is true. It is very true. So what advice would you give to someone who is maybe in your position or scared to start with something like this? What advice would you give that person?
Oh, I would tell them to go for it because if you just stay stuck, you're just gonna stay stuck.
Mhm,
And you can start messy, you can start afraid. I started so many things, scared, afraid, and being happy that I did it on the other end. And even this is what oh, I gotta share this. So in this process, being the DG Mastermind, I had opportunity to go on a 22-day bike ride.
mhm.
And I love to ride my bike. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm going. I figure out the logistics or whatever later, right? But the key that I brought that up is that I used to be terrified of riding across bridges, right? Riding across bridges, tall bridges. And one day on this bike ride, it was crazy foggy outside, and I knew there was a bridge, and I could not see. I could not see the other side. I could not see if it was a tall bridge, short bridge. All I knew was that it was a bridge, but
Mhm,
that was the way to go. There was no other way around it. I had to go over that bridge. And so in that moment, I had a decision to make. Do I call for a ride to get over the bridge, or do I face my fear and go forward, even though I cannot see the rest of the way? Do I go forward anyway? And I did. And I did. And I'm glad that I made it to the side. And as I was going through, by the time I got to the end of the bridge, the daggone sky cleared up. I could see how tall the bridge was. Like, oh my goodness. But the key, but the key reason I brought that up is that I love to bike ride. I was very excited about it. But in that same moment, at that moment in time, I was terrified because I
mhm.
could not see. It's not always meant for us to see the other side. It's meant for us to have the faith and go and move anyway. So when you can have that faith and move anyway, the sky will open up, the sun will shine, and you will see how much stronger you are because you pushed through that storm, that cloud, that fog, and made it to the other side. So,
Yes. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's such a good like analogy too. That's like perfect. That was so good. Such great advice, honestly. So I'm excited when people hear that because it is true. That's how a lot of life really is. So no, that
right.
was that was amazing. So thanks for sharing that because that was very good.
You're
Um,
welcome. That was real.
yeah. And it's cool because it like actually happened. You know what I mean?
It's
So
still fresh. It's still fresh.
that's awesome. So last question for you, Tasha. What do you now know is possible?
Oh, what do I now know is possible? Ah, I know that I can impact lives on a global level. It's like back in the day, I kind of saw the vision. When I say I saw the vision, I saw like with social media, it's global, right? It's global. And I even saw when I was doing real estate how I can only talk to people locally. Even when I was doing other things, it was like only local. But I'm like, my voice needs to be heard. Like people need to hear that there's someone out there just like them, right? That can just push through some things. And it's like, oh my goodness, shit. Can I curse? Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. It's like, I don't know, it's like a reawakening. Dag, I had a thought. What was the last part of the question you said? Because a thought just came.
Oh no, you're good. It was what you now know is possible.
Oh, what I now know is possible. Oh, yes, I know that it's possible to reach people on a global level, and it's so important what we say to ourselves. Because
Yes.
when I first started this business, it was like I wanted to have a global business. I was like, once I knew it was global, I'm like, heck yeah! And
Mhm.
my very first customer was a global customer in a country I've never heard of. So it's like, yes. This is so possible, and I know that to be true because I'm meeting people all over the world from the
Mhm.
comfort of my own home. Like, what?
Yes. Yeah, no,
It's
it's amazing, right? Just, what this thing has turned into. I mean, like what's possible. It's amazing, right? I'm super excited for what's coming and what's in store for you guys. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited to see your journey, right? Because you're great, you're full of energy. So it's just, one of those things, just stay consistent and there's no telling what happened. And, hopefully we can hop on one of these again when you've had all these big successes and you can tell us how you did it, and then just, go from there. But I greatly appreciate you talking to me today, Tasha. You're awesome. You're gonna do great. Just keep up the good work and we'll see what happens. So
great. Thanks so much for having me, Alex. This was
yeah,
wonderful.
absolutely. All right, Tasha, I'll let you get back to your morning or afternoon, depending on wherever you are.
Yes.
And we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Alex. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
Tasha.